What did your disabled son do that made you proud? My 17-year-old son with Down syndrome was arrested for assaulting 3 grocery store employees and robbing an elderly woman. The police officer's voice was stern when he called me at work. Your son Ollie is being detained. He assaulted staff members and stole from a customer. The manager wants to press charges. I actually laughed out loud. Ollie? My Ollie? The same kid who reads stories to dogs at the shelter because he thinks they get lonely? The officer wasn't amused. Sir, 3 employees have injuries. You need to come immediately. When I arrived 8 minutes later, Ollie was sitting on the curb in handcuffs, his Pokemon shirt torn, dirt on his face. But strangest of all, he was smiling. Not his usual sweet smile, but this fierce, proud grin I'd never seen before. The store manager, this thin, rat-faced man, was holding ice against his jaw while a blonde female employee showed off scratch marks on her arms to the gathering crowd. Ollie, I said, kneeling beside him. What happened? He saw me and his mood brightened. Dad, I saw them trying to scam Mrs. Yoon, the nice grandma from next door. They were making her swipe her card over and over again. The manager immediately started screaming. He's lying! Your retard son is violent and he grabbed money from Mrs. Yoon and attacked us when we tried to stop him. I stood up ready to drop this piece of nincompoop for calling my son that, but the officer stepped between us. Sir, control yourself. But regardless of what he was saying, I knew my son would never do something like that. Ollie, I said, ignoring everyone else. Focus on my voice. Tell me exactly what happened. His smile faded as he tried to focus. It started when I saw Mrs. Yoon and she looked super confused. The blonde employee rolled her eyes. Oh great, the moron is going to tell us a story. I took a step toward her, but Ollie grabbed my hand and kept talking. She was at the self-checkout. It kept saying error. I saw the yellow-haired lady telling Mrs. Yoon to swipe her card again, and again, and again. He held up his fingers. 7 times, Dad. I counted. The blonde employee looked like she was about to burst in anger. Shut up! But the officer held up his hand for silence. Ollie continued, his voice getting stronger. Mrs. Yoon said she already paid. She showed them her receipt, but the employee told her that she had to keep swiping or she couldn't leave with her groceries. Dad, remember how you warned me that's how bad people steal? They make you swipe lots of times, then take all the money. My blood was boiling now. Yes, I remember, buddy. Then what happened? I went over. I said, excuse me, that's not nice. You're tricking her. The lady called me the R word and said I was too stupid to understand grown-up things. Ollie's face scrunched up at the memory, and he looked scared, but I understand stealing is wrong. So I told Mrs. Yoon to call 911. I said, these people are doing crimes to you. The manager's face was purple now. This moron doesn't know what he's talking about. Ollie kept going. That's when the man grabbed Mrs. Yoon's receipt, the one that showed all the charges. He tried to rip it up, so I grabbed it from him to protect the evidence, like we see on the TV. His smile came back slightly. The lady scratched my face and called me an animal. The manager hit me in the stomach, but I didn't let go of the receipt, Dad. I protected it. The crowd had gone dead silent. Some people were now filming the employees instead of Ollie. The manager was sweating. You're going to believe this. This defective kid over us, he probably doesn't even understand what stealing means. I looked at this one employee, a kid who'd been silent all along. You saw everything, didn't you? He shifted uncomfortably, looking at his manager, then at Ollie in handcuffs. I mean, the kid's Adam's apple bobbed. The manager grabbed his arm. Don't you dare. They've been doing it for months, the kid blurted out. Only to old people, ones who don't understand technology. They've stolen thousands. The blonde employee shrieked. Kyle, you little traitor! She lunged at him, but the officer caught her. Then one by one, all of them were arrested. All of them except my son. Ollie waved at them as they were driven away. Are they going to jail for being bad guys? I laughed and said, yes, son. Now let's go and get your favorite blueberry ice cream.